Hey guys, what's up? It's Frank here from Altcoin Buzz, and today we're going to be discussing Cardano. Now guys, stick until the end of the video for me to tell you which levels I will be entering this trade, which levels you need to be looking at, and why the price action over the past 2 weeks is actually very different than the price action over the past 6 months, and what this means for the price action of ADA Cardano moving forward. Now, for those of you who don't know, we are first and foremost a crypto investment research company, and we've been showing you documented 100x returns over the past almost 6 years since 2017. But if you want to receive our exclusive up-to-date research, of course, being up-to-date, things change very quickly in the crypto space is important. If you want to receive that as well as undervalued gems, NFTs, before we post them on YouTube, then check out the link below down in the description and also in the top pinned comment of this video to join our access group with memberships starting from just $99 a month. With that being said, I just want to remind you that none of us are financial advisors, so please, if you make investment or trading decisions, do them at your own risk. All right, with that being said, let's get started. So, Cardano, obviously, fundamental analysis is very important. And for that, I suggest you check out one of the many videos that we've posted. We've been fans of Cardano for years now, but especially over the past month, we've been giving you many videos on the channel. Not to mention, if you search for Cardano on altcoinbuzz.com, you will see that we've posted about 10 articles in the last month alone. So we are huge fans of Cardano. Look at this, February 19th, we said Cardano ADA, the next big thing. Over here, February 28th, Cardano, 10 reasons why ADA is the future. Let's see what happened, what the price action was around that time. February 28th, that was right here, okay? As you can see, since then, we've had a very nice move up. We've had about a 43% move up. So guys, we are not telling you about the price action just as it happens. We are making certain predictions, and we're backing these up with a lot of great fundamental analysis. And as a bonus, of course, you get to look at Matt's handsome face. He obviously has a lot more hair than I do. So you'll get to watch his videos, see what 10 reasons why Cardano ADA is the future. But today, guys, we are going to be talking about the technical analysis, and that is what I am here to show you. So without further ado, let's get started. So as you can see, Cardano ADA, 34% price increase over the past 7 days. This is substantially higher than any of the top 30 cryptos, actually, I noticed. So 34%. The next highest rise we had was near at 24.2%. So really knocking it out of the park. Cardano has been the name of the game over the past week. And before we get onto the charts, I just want to show you why I always choose BINANCE USDT. So if you go over here and click on Cardano and then go over to this markets tab and click on that, you will find that Binance ADA USDT has 12.5% of the total volume of the market. That means that approximately 12.5% of the total trading volume of Cardano is on Binance, and that is why we use ADA USD as calculated by TradingView on the Binance platform. And fun fact before we get started, Cardano was actually named after Ada Lovelace. I find this interesting. She was a 19th century mathematician who developed the first algorithm that could be executed by a machine. Alright, so the daily chart is actually what's the most interesting, what's revealing some very important, useful information. But like I said, we will get onto that on the end of the video. Let's first of all zoom out and just have a general outlook on what is happening in Cardano. So on the monthly time frame, you can see that we had a higher high over here, sort of a higher high. We had another higher high over here. But what happened on the RSI? We had a lower low and we had another lower low. And this, of course, is a bearish divergence. So it's no surprise that we had a move down from there. Okay, now you may be looking at this and be saying, hey, Frank, this is a bearish crossover on the MACD. Isn't this a bearish sign? And to that I would say yes, it is. But of course, as I've mentioned before, when we are making trading decisions, we want a convergence of factors to lead us to either going bearish or bullish, to making a short trade or a long trade. And this is only one bearish sign, and I can't see any other bearish signs whatsoever on the monthly chart. So I don't think that this bearish crossover really means much of anything at the moment. And certainly we have a bullish sign over here. I want to show you this because this was very interesting price action. So I'm going to draw a box here to denote the previous support marked by the bottom of the lows of these candles. And as you can see, the highest low we had was here at just over $1, and the lowest low we had from all of these previous candles was at $0.9. And I'm going to expand that to here. So what you can see is that this was a critical support zone, because we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles which fell as support within this zone. I'm going to mark this in green because that is the standard color that I use for support. Right, now look what happened here. Here we had a break out of this support zone. Now this is something which initially looks very scary. It's like, hey, actually we broke out of this. Isn't this a bad sign? Well, you have to look at the full story. So this happens very often. This is actually can be a very powerful sign that we are actually going to reverse. Why? Because we have wicks coming down through this support zone, but then pushing us right back up. And then again, another wick pushing us through this support zone, making people think, oh, you know, it's all going bearish, having a lot of people entering short at the break of these important supports, and then having to get stopped out of their trades. And then, of course, when they get stopped out of their shorts, what happens? You get a lot of liquidations, and then you get these price movements to the upside. So this is what you would call a shakeout or a fake out, where there's support. It looks like it's broken support, but actually it's coming right back up. And this is actually usually one of the best times to buy. But of course, this is also just one of many factors which are needed before we can make a investment decision. And again, I want to remind you, I'm not a financial advisor, but I look for several factors, several reasons to enter a long trade before I do so. That being said, if we have a close below $0.9, this will, of any monthly candle, this will really not be a great sign, not be a good sign, unless of course, again, we have a long wick pushing us down and bringing us right back up to that level. But in general, having a close below $0.9 will be a very bad sign, because this is an important support. We've had one fake out, but if we go past down below this, like have a proper close below $0.9, that will definitely not be good. But I don't think it's very likely that's going to happen. So let's look now at what's more exciting, what's really interesting about this daily time frame. So as you can see, this support zone is drawn out here. I'm actually going to remove it because this is more relevant on the monthly. But let me show you, first of all, let's look at this. But first, what I'd like to do is show you a pattern which is developing here on the, since September 2021, since we had this downtrend. Right now I'm marking the supports of this downtrend, and as you can see, things are starting to change, especially over here. This is the first time that we've had a higher low on the support, which also has led to a higher high. And this is what makes these past 2 weeks of price action, all right, these past 2 weeks so important, and what makes it so different from all the previous price action. Now, to show this to you more clearly, I'm going to show you previous important resistances. Now, first we had resistance at $2.4. We tried to break through it, we failed. Then we had resistance at $1.6. We tried to break through it, we failed. $1.26, we're trying to break through it right now. We don't yet know if this is a failure, but more importantly, finally, this is the critical resistance which we have broken through, the $1, basically the let's just call it the $1 mark to keep it simple. We had this as resistance and we broke through it like with flying colors, right? We've had many candle closes above that. So what does that mean? That means I'm going to show you why, again, another reason why these past 2 weeks are relevant, why they are actually since February, past month, why this is such important price action to watch. Have a look at this. So I'm going to use my trusted brush here to show you the story of what happened with Cardano over the past 6 months. We had a move down here, a lot of consolidation, no real move up or down. Then we had another move down, lower high, lower low, double top over here. Again, we failed to break through. We came down, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, just a very clear downtrend. But now look at this, bam, higher low, and bam, higher high, okay? So again, this green box, look how this green box is different from all the previous price action of this since this downtrend started. This is the first time we have a higher high and a higher low, which is typically how an uptrend starts. At the very least, it's the slowing down of a previous downtrend. Okay, so now let's get rid of my beautiful yellow squiggly lines. I'm going to get rid of this green box as well, just to simplify this chart for you again. So what typically happens when you have a resistance which is broken through is that it actually turns into support. So now we can expect, or hope at least, that there's one reason to expect or to hope that there will be a support if and when we come back down to this level of approximately $1. Of course, we had a close at 0.97, so let's just say, to be safe, put this down here at $0.96. Now, incidentally, this actually is a very important zone. As we mentioned before, there's an important support in this area, and if we zoom back, we can see that there's a lot of times that candles either closed or had a low which bounced off of or around this line. So it's a very, very good sign that we've broken through this, and certainly if we were to come back down to this $0.97 mark, it would be a very interesting setup for a long trade. The risk to reward would be very good, because basically we could close out the trade with about a 20% loss potentially. Let's just say 25% loss, just to really not be shaken out. But of course, what could happen if you entered here would be that you would be able to make, well, if we reached previous highs, we would have 225%, all right? So that by itself would be about a 9-to-1. But I'm going to show you, wait until the end of the video, I'm going to show you what I think is a reasonable, realistic target over the coming weeks if you were to enter a long trade over the coming days, all right? If you were to enter a medium-term trade. Now, another reason this is bullish, this price action over the past few weeks, is that we had resistance on the RSI. We never really got above 62. We had it as one resistance, and then 66, right? And now we've gotten over there, and we've actually came back down. So this is a good sign that there's a bullish momentum. So we are actually overbought over here, and that usually people get scared and they think, oh, we're overbought. Doesn't that mean too many people are buying and therefore it's going to go down? Not necessarily. What it really means is that it's a little bit heated. The market is a little bit overheated. And what often happens is, instead of having a big move down, we just have a consolidation. And that means that the price, instead of going down, it does what it did back here, where it kind of just goes up, just has a lot of erratic movement, but generally within the same zone here, okay? So it doesn't necessarily mean that we'll have a big move down, but it just means that we'll have a cooling off in the price action, all right? And incidentally, you can see that on the RSI over here, we also had like some very explosive overbought signs. And what happened after that, we didn't have like a massive move down. We had this long consolidation. So it's quite possible that we'll have something similar play out over here, whereby we have a consolidation in this green box that I'm marking here, and then hopefully bounce from there to move up. Although we will need to see more bullish signals before we can confirm that the uptrend has really started. I mean, technically, the uptrend, very simply speaking, an uptrend is a higher high, higher low, higher high. These three components tell you that we're in an uptrend. So the good sign has already come, but this is not necessarily the best time to buy. And again, I'm going to tell you what my price prediction is for Cardano in the short to medium term. But before I do that, I just want to tell you about the price where it is right now, and why we are somewhat unlikely to see a lot more bullish price action over the coming days. Now, as you can see by this red line down here, I'm going to get rid of these previous red resistance lines to make this clear and simple for you, because that is really the goal here. I don't want you to get overwhelmed with all of these lines and charts. Now look at this red line over here. This marks a previous resistance. And as I mentioned, the last time we had these double tops, actually these previous lines are kind of relevant. So if we just put them back, we had a double top over here, okay? Mark that as red, as resistance, Control C, Control V. And then we had another resistance over here, double top. So this is the third time we have a double top. And you know, this unfortunately is not a good sign if we come down from here. And that conversely, if we break through this, then we have a very powerful signal that a new uptrend has started and that we could reach an ADA price of $3 and higher and start reaching new highs. But this resistance not only is a double top, but also marks the highest trading volume as marked by these yellow and blue bars on the right side here. So between $1.8 and $1.3, there's been a lot of price action here. So it's unlikely that we will break this in one foul swoop. It's somewhat more likely that we will have either a consolidation in this green zone or maybe another more drastic move down to sort of $0.8 before moving up. Okay, now that we've gone through that, what is my price prediction? What would I be looking at? What kind of level in the short to medium term would I be looking at to sell? So to figure this out, we are going to look at our trusted fib retracement. We're going to take it from the top of this downtrend to the bottom. We're going to look now at the most likely place at which we would find resistance, and this is at the 0.68. This is a very common place to look for initial profit taking, or at the very least to expect some sort of resistance. And we're going to look for convergence to prove, or at least to give, not to prove, you can't prove anything in TA, but to give more reason why we might find resistance at this zone. So again, we're marking from the top here. We had a double top at $2.4, and I'm going to mark it to the bottom here of actually $1.16, and this I would see as the resistance zone. So I would expect that we would have a good chance. I would say the chances are more likely than not, at least 55 to 60%, that over the coming month or probably over the coming months, that we would have a chance of having, from the current price, almost 100% return. Now, this is a pretty awesome return if you ask me. Again, I personally am not buying at this level, because if I do, I would have to stop out my trade with a almost 40% loss potentially. I don't really like those odds. But where I would be buying, again, is somewhere in this green box, maybe dollar cost averaging in. But personally, I'm looking for a better price. I'm hoping that we can get down to find a new higher low on the daily. So again, just to remind you, with our trusted brush here, we have a high, a higher low, a higher high. So really the best time to buy is when we have a higher low, when there's been a bit of a cooling down of the price. And this $0.95 mark is probably the best time to buy, because there we would have a lot of convergence around this being a support. It's quite possible that we do something like this, whereby we have a wick which goes, so we have the high, higher low, higher high, and then we go down, and then the candle closes here, but we have a wick which takes us down here and then brings us back up. So just beware in trading, you often have these wicks which shake people out, and that's why it's important not to have your stop losses too close to your support lines. All right, guys, that's been it for today. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, let me know down in the comments below. Do you think ADA will start a new uptrend? Do you think we will see any price below $0.77? Or do you think that now is the time to buy? Let me know down in the comments below. Is it a buy or is it a sell? So with that being said, guys, don't forget to check out Matt's video, literally posted today, top 5 ADA Cardano ISPOs for April. And don't forget to check out the pinned comments, find the most undervalued gems, up-to-date research and NFT buys with Altcoin Buzz access. Guys, it's just $99 per month. We give you the information there before we give it to our subscribers here on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed the video, and with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.